Hi, welcome to the Daniel Wynn podcast. Today I want to go over the 2025 projections, predictions, and State of the Union of what's going on in real estate right now. I've been investing in real estate for a very long time, and it goes through the ebbs and flows. Today I would like to go over the market trends, recent closed loan story. I want to share with you the lessons learned and why real estate investing may not always be the best investment. So let's get started. In the news in January, interest rates are higher than they were at the end of last year. Currently, 30-year mortgage interest rates are hovering around 7%. And this is cooling down the real estate market for residential and commercial loans. Slowing down the market means that it's increasing the rental market, which means renters are having to rent instead of buy because of the high interest rates, and landlords are keeping their rental properties fully occupied. Meanwhile, in California, landlord legislation is totally out of control. The tenants have more rights than the landlords, and there are some bizarre stories that I read online over the holidays about how landlords might have to pay 10, 20, 30, $50,000 to the tenant that was not paying them rent to move them out. It's totally ridiculous in the state of California. I feel for you that are landlords in that state and have to deal with this. Many of the blue states are dealing with this, even my home state of Illinois, New York, while other states are still, the red states are still friendly to landlords. So keep that in mind as you're investing in 2025. On the bright side, we're seeing creative deals taking place. We have seller financing coming back into the queue. We have subject to deals, and sellers are looking for creative ways to sell their properties. So this is a good opportunity if you're out there trying to buy properties to maybe take over some of those low rate mortgages that exist. I was at a mortgage conference in the fall, actually back in October, and I remembered somebody saying that something like 60% of all mortgages are under 4% interest. So if you could take over any of those 4% interest rate loans, that would be definitely a bonus versus borrowing money today at 7%. Let me give you a quick story. Um, Let me share with you a quick story about a deal we closed in Chicago. A rehabber bought a property for delinquent property taxes. So somebody was behind on the delinquent property taxes, and he bought the property and paid the $45,000 in taxes. Then they applied for a loan for us to do a rehab for $80,000. After repair value would be somewhere close to 200,000. So we thought this was a no-brainer type of deal, right? He put 45 down, he's got the property in his name, so it's a potentially easy loan. He did have the experience, he was an out-of-state owner, and it was his first loan with us. As we began processing the loan, we discovered that he still had outstanding City of Chicago building code violations. Well, if anybody knows anything about the city, they could be challenging to deal with. So, a lot of lenders will turn a deal like that down because they don't want to deal with the City of Chicago and they don't want to be in a position behind the lien or the city lien, right? The city lien was recorded first, so it would be considered a first lien. And any lender that comes in afterwards would be considered, and they record after that date, they would be considered a second lien. So most mortgage lenders would turn a deal like that down. We suggested to this borrower that he call the city and see if they will subordinate their city lien to our new first mortgage. We've had some success with some of the city uh, attorneys, and in this case, he contacted the city attorney, and they agreed. They saw that he was getting a construction loan for 80,000. They saw that the real estate taxes were recently brought current, the water bill was brought current, and the city issued a subordination letter, which allowed our company to fund the deal and be in the first mortgage position. So this borrower was able to get his loan with us. We closed it, and he was able to find a lender that was able to help him accomplish this goal of dealing with the city with an open city lien. So for if you have any deals like this and you have any situations like this, consider sending them to our company because we have been successful working with the city on projects like this. So what were the lessons learned, right? The lessons learned is the borrower should have did his due diligence, and maybe he wouldn't have bought the property, but he got the property at a really good deal, right? He bought it for 45,000. He's going to put 80 into it, so now he's into it for 125, and he believes that the retail value is 200,000. So I can see, because I'm out there too, investing in real estate, that sometimes you have to take deals with a little hair on them if you believe that they could still give you the successful outcome that you're looking for. But the lesson learned is if you are a real estate investor going to borrow money and these properties have some hair on them, then you have to find the right lender that will be able to get these deals funded for you so you can continue your success as a rehabber and renter or landlord. Now I want to talk about something that's a little controversial. I'm a real estate investor and a private money lender, but I want to say that I don't always think that people should be buying property and becoming landlords or flipping properties. I think that real estate is not always the best investment for everybody and for some people. What do I mean by that? I get a lot of people that call into our office looking for financing and they have very little experience. And I have to point out to them that the purchase price that they are thinking about buying the property for, or the scope of work and the rehab budget, just doesn't make sense. So, this is the value add that our company and that I add to my clients when they contact our office. We want to make sure that if we're going to fund a deal, that the deal is going to actually become successful. And when you deal with somebody like myself, who also buys properties and has closed hundreds of loans over the years, you get that value add. So, real estate investing and becoming a landlord, ever since I was a kid, that was the way to wealth in America, right? All the millionaires, or the majority of the millionaires, came from investing in real estate. Well, the truth of the matter is, times have changed, right? Here it is 30 years later, and yet so many people still believe to their core that real estate ownership, rentals, and fixing and flipping is the way to go. And I want to tell you that that is not always the way to go. You know, or let me share with you, that you could just buy property for one price, clean it up, and just sell it at another price and make a profit. There's nothing wrong with just buying and selling property and making a profit, is there? Now, owning property and having owning property as rental, I've seen so many people struggle as landlords. Why? Number one, we talked about it earlier. These tenant laws, right? These tenant advocacy attorneys. These attorneys know how to drag out a eviction, right? If you have to pay your mortgage company and your tenants aren't paying you, how long can you absorb that? How long can you continue to make the mortgage payment, the taxes, the insurance, the utilities when a tenant doesn't pay you? If you only have one rental, two rentals, three rentals, and one of those tenants don't pay you, 30% of your revenue is gone. Or if it's two rental properties, 50% of your rental income is gone. I don't know how long you can absorb those losses. So you have to be careful. Do not take on rental properties if you don't have any reserves or any money put aside in case this ever happens. Then you have unexpected repairs, leaks, water leaks, roof leaks, window leaks, utilities, right? You have HVAC, you got heating and air conditioning. There's so many things that can go wrong inside a property. Let alone, I think about a video I watched over the holidays of one of my investor friends that owns a lot of property in Ohio. They showed us a property that was totally beat up and bug infested that they had to take back when they finally evicted somebody. So for these reasons, I'm going to say again, real estate investing is not always the best investment for everybody, but it can be a good investment for the right operators. If you have any deals that need funding, give me a call. Our company is looking to fund deals with experienced realtors and real estate investors. Our company is looking to do joint ventures and LLCs with people that have deals and they don't have the money to do the deal themselves. Feel free to give me a call, contact me or my office. I'd love to look at some deals and close some deals for you this year. Um, that's it for today's Daniel Wynn podcast. I hope you found this insightful. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, like with people that are also interested and passionate about real estate investing. Next week, we'll talk about some other mistakes that I've made along my lending and real estate investing career. And I'll see you next time.